And good luck, ladies. Good luck, ladies.
Thank you, Sir Tristan. So I am very much excited to meet our delegates. So without further ado, let's get on with the presentation, beginning with our first Batangas.
Alae Mabuhay! I am Hannah Chanel Arellano, representing the rising tourist destination of the South, Calatagan, Batangas. Tonight, I will tell you something about my chosen fauna, which is the Sardinalia tawilis. It is a freshwater sardine exclusively found in the Philippines, specifically in Taal Lake in Batangas. It is unique in that it is the only member of the genus Sardinalia known to be found entirely in fresh water. It is a small fish, reaching only up to 15 centimeters long and weighing 30 grams each. Tawilis, as we know, is famous for being part of Batangas culture and cuisine. It is being processed into various food products. It is dried, salted, and sold as daing, and it is also smoked and bottled in oil. Moreover, what many tourists love about tawilis is when it is served fried or sinaing wrapped in banana leaves. I chose this fauna to spread awareness about the issues we fail to perceive and seem to neglect. Did you know that as we enjoy eating the tasty and delicious tawilis, it has been classified by the International Union for Conservation of Nature as endangered since 2018, and it is added to the red list of threatened species. Local researchers also revealed that the species yield has been diminishing since 1998. This is attributable to overfishing, the unlawful use of fishing gear, the proliferation of fish cages, and of course, the deterioration of lakes' water quality. And as I was doing my research about the fauna, I realized that I needed to do something to help in the protection of one of my province's beneficial species. I came here today not just as a Calatagueña, but as a Batangueña who is called to serve our only habitat. I am here to remind everyone that we should be aware instead of being ignorant. Therefore, I am encouraging my fellow Calatagueños, Batangueños, and even all the Filipino people to be resource managers on our own. Let us all be responsible for the resources in our community, as losing them also means losing our source of livelihood. Let us not wait for the time that we can no longer combat scarcity. Act now and take responsibility. Once again, I am Hannah Chanel Arellano, Miss Philippines Earth, Calatagan, Batangas.
Thank you so much, Miss Calatagan. I love it. Be aware, not ignorant. May I call on Sir Tristan to ask the first question?
Ako, mauna pala ako, no, Ronnie? Okay, Hannah, I've researched a little about the Sardinella tawilis. And then, even, since I was a kid, matagal ko na naririnig yung tawilis for Batangas. So, masarap naman siya talaga. It's the only freshwater sardines or sardinella known to exist in the world. I've read somewhere that the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources is stepping in by suggesting the enforcement of closed fishing season in Taal Lake. What's your opinion about that? And have you heard that the University of the Philippines Los Baños Limnological Station successfully collected and reared tawilis in February 2021 in captivity? Kasi yun ang problem ng tawilis di ba? Yung lalo na ngayon, volcanic eruption, umiinit ang tubig, namamatay sila, nababawasan sila. Ngayon, mawawala na ito, di ba? So ito, these two developments, what can you say about what happened with the UPLB Limnological Station, yung pagre-rear nila sa ng tawilis, at the same time yung suggestion ng Bureau of Fisheries na magkaroon ng closed fishing season in Taal Lake?
You know, Mr. Tristan, I agree with the closed fishing season for tawilis. You know, I've researched all about it also, and I see some article that many local fishermen in Batangas do not agree about it, and by the fact that tawilis is indeed endangered. So I think we need to spread awareness for them, because it is also for them, because if without tawilis, what would be their livelihood, di ba po?
Yes, tourism is a solution, but the problem nga yung volcanic eruption, di ba? So this is a very hard situation to be in for our fishermen in Taal Lake. Ronnie, ikaw, may question ka rin?
Akin very easy lang. Iwan ko na sa inyo yung mga challenging questions. So, my question, madalas tong tinatanong actually, and I would like to know, bakit Miss Philippines Earth yung sinalihan mong pageant this year?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Meneses. You know, I am fully aware of the numerous pressing environmental issues we are facing both locally and globally. And just recently, our town was once again stricken by a 6.1 magnitude earthquake. We have been experiencing earthquakes and many other natural disasters more frequently. And for me, that was indeed alarming. With that, I realized that maybe the environment or the nature's cry for our help. And that pushed me to join Miss Philippines Earth pageant, because I see this as a platform where I can put my micro effort to produce a macro impact. I knew this can amplify small voices like mine to touch big hearts.
Wow! I love it. Ramdam na ramdam ko yung passion mo and why you wanted to join Miss Philippines Earth. So thank you so much, Miss Calatagan. And for our next delegate, may I call on Miss Sampaloc, Quezon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Evening.
Can I start now?
Yes, go ahead.
I am Rochelle Anapuado Singerio, representing the town that was once hailed the cleanest and greenest municipality in the Philippines, Sampaloc, Quezon. My chosen fauna is the reticulated python. Reticulated pythons can be found in Southeast Asian countries like Indonesia, Borneo, and the Philippines. Did you know that the reticulated python is also known here in our country as the Philippine python, but it is more commonly known as the sawa? I think you've seen a lot of sawas in the zoos here, even in the Manila Zoo. Did you know that there are reticulated pythons that can be found in Manila, not even just in zoos, but you can find them in sewers. So be careful when you go to a manhole or walking through the streets of Manila, because you don't know, you might just meet a reticulated python in your street. Did you know that pythons have legs? They're called spurs, and they can be found in the pelvis around their tail. I can actually show you in the video, but unfortunately I can show my video, so I'm just going to show you my photos. And supposedly I was supposed to bring my snake, Levi, the Burmese python that you can see in the photo. I was supposed to show you his spurs, which was located around his pelvis, almost near his tail, but unfortunately he can't come, and I don't want to jeopardize his safety because this is a new environment for him. Anyway, I chose this fauna because the reticulated python has a very important role in my hometown. Reticulated pythons love hunting rodents. and it has controlled the population of rodents in our farms. They have immensely helped farmers deal with less rodents in their farms, and it has boosted our agriculture. That's why all of us, even the little children, try not to harm the reticulated pythons or the sawa because we understand and appreciate their role in our environment. We know that they balance our biodiversity. So as much as possible, we try to stay clear from their way. We respect their boundaries and their personal space, and as much as possible, we don't harm them because we know that every wildlife matters.
Thank you so much, Miss Sampaloc. I don't know if matatakot ba ako ngayon sa sawa. We're very interesting, actually. But I heard Sir Tristan is very scared of snakes.
Yes, actually, reptiles and snakes, talagang tatalon ako basta nakita ko malapit yan dyan, hindi mo ako mapapaano. And then, generally, I'm curious, bakit mo napili yan? Pero nabanggit mo nga may alaga ka. And then one of the things I've researched about problems facing the reticulated pythons in the Philippines is the overcollection or overcollecting. Kasi ngayon, nauuso yung mga nagko-collect, kagaya mo. And then, to be honest, I'm not that afraid to look at Burmese python, isa guy sa photo mo, kasi yung light color. Pero takot ako sa reticulated python because of the coloring, di ba? It's called reticulated because of the pattern, the darkness, the lightness
Yes, the
of the
diamond
pattern.
pattern.
The diamond pattern. Yun ako actually natatakot pala, not that per se. So, ngayon, as a collector or somebody who has a
Just
snake,
like this.
Yes. Ayoko nakita nagsislither.
It's supposed snake back. But it's almost like this, the diamond pattern one.
Yes,
Actually, a lot
reticulated
of
python.
people hunt them for their skin because they're very beautiful because of their diamond pattern. But of course, we want to stop that. So we should just use faux patterns, snakeskin patterns.
So paano, Richelle, ngayon mo mako-convince yung mga taong kagaya namin takot and yung iba dahil sa takot nila, ang tendency is to just kill these snakes. At the same time, bukod sa takot kami sa snakes na kagaya niyan, tinakot mo kami ngayon lumapit sa mga sewer.
Yes.
Diba? O paano ngayon yan? So how can we save the reticulated python, which is actually for all the listeners and viewers that we have right now and in the future, it is the longest reptile in the world, diba, Richelle? It is the longest snake also in the world. And it could even reach up to 8 meters, di ba? So paano mo mako-convince?
Okay. I am a member of the Philippine Snake Society, and there are two kinds of snake pet owners. Those who keep captive bred snakes and wild-caught snakes. The captive bred are the ones who are non-native, meaning they are bred from pet snakes which grew up in the environment with people. Unlike wild-caught, they just catch them from the wild and they're not dominant. And actually that's the illegal type of catching wildlife or wild snakes. That's why you have to know, if you want to own a snake, you have to talk to a reputable hunter or owner or snake owners or pet store owners that have legal papers. You have to be, in order to have a captive bred and not a wild caught snake, you have to have legal papers and have to make sure that the owner is reputable. Anyway, by convincing people to not be scared of snakes are often misunderstood because I think because of the way they look, everyone thinks that they have venom, but no. There are venomous snakes, there are poisonous snakes, and there are constrictors. When you see a python or a reticulated python, do not be scared. Because if you're scared of them, they're just as scared of you. They're not violent, and people often associate them with evil or even death, but no. When you go near them, do not be scared. They're not being violent, they're just being defensive. Because it's only natural for them to want to protect themselves from any potential danger. They don't know what your intentions are, and they don't know what kind of threat you're posing to them. So, as much as possible, stay clear from their way, respect their personal space, because if you cross their boundaries, that's when they want to attack, but only defensively, not because they want to kill you or eat you, because you're crossing their boundaries and you're disrespecting their personal space. So please do not harm them, so that finally you can understand why snakes are not aggressive but only being defensive. Because if you harm them, it would be very critical to the balance of the biodiversity. That's why I'm here, because I want to educate you about snakes, because education is conservation.
Tama, tama. That is very correct, Rizal, and I admire you for that. And then one last request, personal request. If ever na magkakaroon ka ng meet and greet with the pageant media, wag mo dadalhin yung alaga mong snake, ha?
I won't, but I'll bring you a proper
Maybe you can bring
presentation.
kahit malayo, pwede, may people would be interested, pero wag mo ididikit sa akin, ha?
I won't, but don't be
Ikaw,
scared
Ronnie,
of them.
hindi ka ba takot sa snake?
Hindi naman. Actually, when I was younger, like, di ba dati sa mga, pag may field trip, mga zoo, isa ako sa mga batang gustong humawak talaga ng mga snakes, mga animals.
Good for you. Good for you.
So, Ms. Sampaloc, I have one more question.
Sure.
Personal naman, kasi I find it very interesting na may alaga kang snake. Diba? Iba siya eh. Hindi siya like very ordinary. So, like, what do you like to do? What are your hobbies or
Oh yes.
and
Aside from caring for pet snakes, actually, Levi, which is the one that you can see, the albino Burmese python in my photo. He's not my pet snake, but it's my friend's. But the moment that he got that snake, I was also there. So right from the start, I was there, and that's why he was actually very gentle with me. Anyway, my other hobbies, aside from taking care of snakes or reptiles, I really, really love reading about Greek mythology and European monarchies. I also love cooking, although of course right now I have to be on a diet, but that's why I really love cooking. I can actually choose what I can cook. I can put more greens and choose lean meat instead of fatty ones. But then again, I also love baking. I love baking cookies and cakes, brownies, and my brothers love them. Even my sister, who also loves baking. But my favorite ones that I want to bake are the puff pastries, because they're really, really hard to bake, but they're really fun to make. If you learn how to make puff pastries, you're gonna have to be ready for hard work, but at the end, it's all worth it because they're really good, and you're gonna be proud of yourself because you're able to do those kind of pastries that you can see in French bakeries.
thank you. So siguro
Thank
next
you.
wag yung snake yung dalin mo. Siguro puff pastries na lang yung dalin.
Okay, I'll just bring some pastries and some cookies. I won't bring my snake.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Now,
Much.
let's move on to our next delegate, Miss Del Carmen Surigao del Norte.
Hello everyone, I'm Angela Opal, representing the municipality of Del Carmen in Surigao del Norte, and my chosen fauna is the Philippine duck. And before I tell you guys about the Philippine duck, I actually have something here today. So I made this. This is a very, very old coin bank thing that is in the shape of a duck, and I used this duck to make you guys see what kind of features it has. So it has a blue-gray bill, and it has beautiful ombre blue feathers on the side, which you can see while it's closed, but it is more seen once it opens, which I will show you guys now. So this is what it actually looks like. So if you guys see it, it is gorgeous. And here we go as to why I chose it. I didn't just choose it because of its very unique appearance. I chose it because I wanted to raise importance as to why this should be protected. There are only around 5,000 left due to overhunting and over developing its habitats. And that is a big problem, not only for this kind of animal, but a lot of other animals. This kind of animal also looks the same whether it is male or female, which is why I wanted to bring it to the table that this is why a lot of hunters don't know also the difference and they just keep on hunting, which I am against. Because in the 1970s, this was very prominent all over the country, but now it can only be seen occasionally in wetlands like mangroves or rice fields. So now I would like to speak up about it. To hunters all over the Philippines, you guys have to be wary of the adverse effects of all this hunting. When I was looking around, when I was researching, I saw in Facebook Marketplace that there was an actual physical model of the Philippine duck, which is used as a reference for when they're hunting in wetlands or forests. So you have to be wary. If you see these kinds of posts, I suggest that you report them because this is not allowed.
Thank you so much, Sir Tristan.
Yeah, I stood up for a short while Miss Surigao del Norte del Carmen is talking about the duck, because when she brought up the duck, I think I have one also here. So I don't know if this is if this is what kind of duck is this, but I read that the Philippine duck is actually endangered or threatened right now because
Yes.
there's only roughly around less than 5,000 ducks in the world, especially in the Philippines, because that's endemic in the Philippines, right? So my question now is, it is very vulnerable because of the problem with habitats and everything like that, and the high level of hunting na yung binanggit mo kanina. Well, how are we going to deal? What suggestion are you going to give, and how do you suggest, or rather, how do you suggest that we deal with this overhunting issue? And I've read that there's so much conservation actions are underway with this, because yun na nga, dito lang sa Philippines siya meron eh. And then Candaba in Pampanga is doing well also in protecting the marshland, because dito dumadaan or nag-i-stay yung mga migrating Philippine duck birds, right? Ang dami. Actually, when I read about all this fauna that you guys have, etong Philippine duck ang pinakamaraming information regarding that. So, what can you tell us? Why? Why this? You said Philippine duck, kulang, etc. Ano ba ang maidudulot dito sa Philippine society, itong Philippine duck, besides that is endemic in the Philippines? And why do you want this to be protected or para mapadami?
Well, it is very important that we keep these animals that are endemic to the country for our own also national identity. It's also a form of nationalism. You know, ducks, we know that they also create balance in the environment. So lessening this would be giving adverse effects, of course, because these eat shrimp and these eat insects. So it regulates also the amount of these insects that we see present in the environment. So if these are lessened to a number that is considered worse than vulnerable, endangered, because there's a difference between the two, then there might become an imbalance. And another thing that I would like to add, when you asked about what we could do, as I would like to suggest something as a normal person like me, and also something to the government. So as a normal person, it is very important that we raise awareness and we be aware if we see these kinds of things. Social media is out there. When you see these things, you can report them, and that will prevent the spreading of this kind of exploitation of exotic animals, which we should be wary of. And second, for the government, I think that even though there are conservation efforts and they're spreading awareness, I think it is not enough, because it is not just in a municipal scale or a city scale or regional scale. It should be worldwide. So I think there should really be a very, very harsh or very strict regulation on hunting, because that is one of the main reasons why a lot of our fauna is becoming vulnerable or endangered.
I've read that one of the main problems of the Philippine duck is the conversion of the wetlands into something else.
Yes.
Like, di ba, yung iba nagiging subdivision na,
Yes,
yung
that is
iba nagiging fishery, fish ponds na. So, I think we're encroaching on their habitat na. So,
Mhm.
that's the big problem. Tayo talaga, right? Ang
Yes, it
problema.
is a us problem. And like you mentioned, really, a lot of them became subdivisions because modernization became a very in thing, especially after the 1970s. So that is why there was a steep decline of these species during the 1970s, because this is when hunting and, of course, the development of land really started. A lot of subdivisions, malls, and all these other things.
Sana, last part siguro sana ang what we can do with to help this fauna is to magkaroon ng interconnection yung development at in the middle of it merong mga wetland, di ba? Parang part of the development na yun eh. So I think that's a good idea.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you so much. I won't ask you a question anymore. We can now go on to our next delegate from Fil-Com, Toronto, Canada.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Philippines. So my name is Jasmine Pagil, and I am representing the True North Strong and Free of the Filipino community of Toronto, Canada. And let me share my beautiful fauna with you today. Okay, so my chosen fauna is the beautiful red cardinal bird, as you can see, whereas the red bird is actually the male version of the species, while the female only has flashes of red across its body. And fun fact, the red actually comes from a nutrient that is within their diet that consists of mostly seeds and nuts. So if you're looking for a natural glow, I suggest following the cardinal diet where you can get the same red in your face. And the reason why I chose the red cardinal as my fauna, because not only does it represent a symbol of strength and a fighting spirit, which is two characteristics that I hope to embody during my journey with Miss Philippines Earth, but because of what they do for the environment, actually. So yes, not only are they a joy to see during the winter times of Southern Canada, where it's dark and dreary, but they actually contribute to our ecosystem by being a disperser of seeds. So they allow seeds to grow within various habitats, allowing growth to foster within our environment and ecosystem. So they play a very crucial role that not many know about the red cardinal. As well as the bird can also be seen as a spiritual message from loved ones near and far that they are doing well. And I love this message because as someone who's moved from Toronto to Philippines all by myself, I wanted to use my fauna sort of as a message to send to my family back home, to let them know that I am doing well and that I'm going to do my best in my time here in our home country of the Philippines.
And
Yes, Sir Tristan.
yes, just like what Miss Fil-Com Toronto is saying, that she's using the red cardinal as a message for her family that she's okay and well. And I've read that red cardinals are usually believed to be very spiritual animals and to be the messenger of angels or gods. I mean, if you have like a dead loved one or someone that you miss, it becomes a message. Though it's not really endemic in the Philippines, it's good to see that the angry bird is real.
Yes, it is known as the angry bird, but I believe that it's not actually as mean as it is as its reputation. I like to think it's just very territorial because they don't migrate compared to other birds, so they stay close to where their habitat is or where they're from. So that's usually where their reputation comes from.
And I hope that here in the Philippines and the young people who are watching right now would be interested to really learn about the birds in their habitats or in their areas. And we can do this by offering seed dispensers in trees so that we can really see how beautiful the birds in our communities, di ba?
Yes, I agree. especially when they're so beautiful and vibrant, just like the red cardinal or the blue jay. It really brings a sense of happiness whenever you see it.
And as this as a messenger of the gods nga, Miss Fil-Com, ano yung message mo for your future grandchildren with regards to the environment and fauna?
A message that I want to send to my future grandchildren and coming from my fauna is because, like I said, the bird represents a symbol of strength and its fighting spirit. So I want to let them know that their grandmother, as in me, continue to fight for their earth and for their future, because the youth and my future grandchildren really are the most important part for our environment and in terms of saving our planet. So that is why my advocacy really aims for the education of our youth, because they're the ones who are going to take over and essentially make our future a better place. So that's why we really need to instill a sustainable mindset, especially starting at a young age, so that they grow up and they already know how to take care of our home and their future.
So ikaw, Ronnie, ano magiging message mo for the future?
Well, my message will be hopefully na by the time na dumating yung time ng future, sana mas okay na yung mundo natin. I am hoping that we finally reach our goal, which is to save our planet and to have a very thriving environment and world. So,
Natanong ka bigla, no?
So thank you so much, Miss Canada. Let's move on to our final delegate for tonight, Las Piñas City.
Hi! Earthly Day, everyone. Earthly Day, Las Piñeros. I am Bea Cecilio, an Earth warrior from the city that gained recognition as the United Nations Awardee on Environmental Programs, Las Piñas City. My chosen fauna is a butanding, or most commonly known as the whale sharks. Yeah, I will share my screen. Okay. Its scientific name is Rhincodon typhus. And aside from butanding, they're also being called as balinan, tiki-tiki, tuki, and tawiki. Although they are called as the world's largest fishes, they're also being considered as the gentle giants of the sea. Why? Because based on records, they have never harmed any humans nor ocean creatures. They even love it when people swim with them, as long as you do not touch them, because it will really be harmful for them. So, fun fact, they even love when the small bubbles that the divers are producing when swimming with them. So they love it, the small bubbles. And another fun fact, butandings can be seen at the back of a 100 peso bill. So you could see it here. So yeah. You could check it out also, because when I knew about this, I was also surprised. Maybe some of you are wondering, where could these butandings be seen? You could actually see them in Dansol, Oslog, Palawan, and Southern Leyte. You can swim with them too. Just make sure to follow the 4-meter away rule with them. And always remember to practice sustainable tourism when traveling. On the other hand, sadly, they are now endangered species. In the Philippines, there are only 1,950 remaining butandings, making it the second largest known whale sharks population in the world. However, in total, there are 119,000 to 238,000, but only 7,000 were tracked. And yearly, sadly, its number has been continuously decreasing due to whale shark hunting, killings, and ocean pollution. With that, I believe that protecting them should be prerogative for both us and for the future generation. Hashtag stop animal killing, hashtag stop ocean pollution, and hashtag be an earth warrior. Thank you.
Miss,
Thank you so
Miss, yes. Yeah. Yes, Miss Las Piñas, curious lang ako kasi Las Piñas, we're expecting that you'll be discussing the fauna in the area of Las Piñas, but you chose Butanding, which is actually the largest fish in the world, di ba? Meron na tayong largest snake in the Philippines, largest reptile, and now the largest snake in the world, fish in the world. But the Philippines have actually took an early stand about this, di ba? In 1998, nagkaroon tayo, prinotektahan na yan since 1998, and then we're doing well in doing this. Then why have you chosen this specific fauna? Ano pa ba ang problema about them na kailangan nating malaman, lalo na yung mga viewers natin and the future generation?
Okay, so it's actually very interesting why I chose Butanding. Because honestly, I haven't seen a Butanding in person, but I've seen one in my dream. So I feel like when we were asked to choose a fauna, I was actually very excited, and I felt a kind of goosebumps when I chose Butanding because I felt like I have a mission to fulfill, because I've seen Butanding like a year or 2 years ago. So right now, I think I want to raise awareness that we should really stop animal killing. However, in the Philippines, we are really taking good care of the whale sharks. We're actually the second largest, with the largest population of the whale sharks in the entire world. But in the other country, could I mention the country? Yeah, in China, sadly, they are continuously killing whale sharks. So it's really sad. And just like what I said, every year the whale sharks are decreasing. So we really have to step up in raising awareness that we should really, stop animal killing and take good care of the ocean and stop the ocean pollution.
When you mentioned that you got goosebumps kasi you dreamt about it, I researched kagad anong meaning ng whale shark.
I also did.
You did na.
Yes.
I just read, I just saw that it means about, it expresses your firm and solid foundation. You have moved on and forgot a disturbing issue. Nako, mukhang may tinatakasan ka. You want to be more adventurous. So I think it's your nature na maging adventurous, and this is your chosen adventure to help protect the fauna, the Butanding.
Yeah. Actually, when I dreamed about it, I didn't know what Butanding is. But when I saw the picture in my dream, there was a voice of a guy who said Butanding. So when I woke up, I was like, "Mom, what's Butanding?" And they were also quite unsure as well of what. I mean, they know that it's whale shark, but I didn't believe them. So I researched, and then I discovered that it's a whale shark. So I was like, why did you show up in my dream? Like, what's the reason? So now that I'm here in Miss Philippines Earth, I'm really so excited, and hopefully I could really help in raising awareness, in taking good care and preserving, the whale sharks or the Butanding in the Philippines and in the entire country.
Now you have to go to Donsol to meet Butanding in person.
I would love to. I'm really excited.
Back to you, Ronnie.
Thank you so much, and that's it for tonight. The third batch of exceptional ladies competing for Miss Philippines Earth 2022. Let us know what you think by following and subscribing to our social media accounts. And, let us know who you are rooting for this year, because we would really love to hear from you. This is just the beginning of another colorful journey for these lovely ladies. We have lots of exciting events lined up leading to the grand coronation. Be sure to get updated with the latest happenings on Miss Philippines Earth 2022. On behalf of Carousel Production, this has been Ronnie Meneses, your Miss Philippines Fire 2021. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. And please let us continue to save our planet. Good night.